Christmas is confusing for my dog. For example, when we're on walks, he always wants to bring in sticks into the house and that he's found along the way, and we don't let him. But last week, we brought a whole tree inside to decorate. He's like, what gives? But seriously, the tree, while being confusing, can also be hazardous to our pets, with things like extension cords that they can chew through or a whole tree falling on top of them. In the second part of our interview with the Humane Society, we further discuss the well-being of your pet this Christmas.
And it'll depend on what type of animal you have. If you do you have a really curious one who's likely to get, inside the tree in the case of quite a lot of cats? Do you have one who's going to be scared of it if it's, an anxious animal that doesn't like change? If are the baubles that might fall down, are they going to chase after them, or is they going to try to eat them in the case of some dogs that haven't quite figured out, what's food, what's a treat yet or not? Definitely never a bad idea to kind of slowly acclimate to those things. Have your tree in there, let it sit for a couple of days without any ornaments on it. You might be, putting up a baby pen or a play pen around the tree. So if you have a dog or cat that can't get direct access to it, so they can't be, climbing in the tree in the case of cats or rubbing up against it in the case of dogs, and just not causing trouble in that sense, but also keeping themselves out of trouble.
And now Christmas morning, we also have to be very aware when small kids are opening up presents and there's batteries or small batteries as components, or even like paper or bows or ribbon. Like, what kind of hazards are Christmas morning bringing us?
So everything you just mentioned, and the one thing that comes to mind is how many of us think, okay, we're going to keep on top of the tidying. We're not going to have wrapping everywhere. What are we going to do? We're going to get a garbage bag and we're going to put everything straight into the garbage bag. It's very simple. If you've got a playful cat or kitten, or even a puppy, to see all those bows, those anything dangling from the wrappings, they see it all going into the bag, and I think I might just follow this fun bit of tinsel into the bag, right? That's something that comes to mind. Really, kind of what I say with safety is it's something that you consider for your young children. You really should be considering for your pets as well, and keeping the garbage up off the ground or keeping an eye on where it is. It might even be simple if you've got a cat that really likes to get into, tinsels and strings and wires, because we do see a lot of issues with cats around the holidays and ingesting string-like objects. There we go. And so it might be, keeping your cat out of the room that you open the presents in, or keeping the puppy out of the room that you open presents in while you open them. And then, once everything's a little more put together, we've got the garbage away, we've got everything off the ground that needs to be off the ground, then they get to come in and be part of it just to keep everyone safe.
And at this time of year, lots of people have anxiety, or they're a little jittery. And I guess pets can be the same way. They're wondering why we're running around with our heads cut off and trying to get things done. And that can cause anxiousness in our pets. So what do you suggest we do at this time of year to be mindful of them?
Absolutely. They're definitely routine-based animals. And this time of year, we do a lot of things that are not in our routine. So as best as you can, sticking to that routine. If you're going to be going away and have someone coming in to watch them, try to have someone the animal knows. If you're going to have people coming over to your house, this is something that, especially if you've had a dog in the last 3 years and you haven't had people to your house in the last 3 years, that is a huge change for them. And you might think that your dog, who is happy and lovely and loves everyone they meet and has never had a problem with, one or two people coming over, 12, 15, 20 people coming over is a hugely different situation for them, right? And your suddenly loves to meet everyone happy-go-lucky dog or cat is now very overwhelmed by how many people are in your house, because it's a huge change for them. They don't know who any of these people are. They don't know why they're all here at one go. So as best as you can, making sure your animals stick to their routine or acclimated as possible. And if you know that they're a pet that gets stressed with change, talking to your vet about anti-anxiety supplements, or even medications before the Christmas time, especially if you're going to be driving, your pet doesn't do well in the car, that sort of thing. Where I say if you can leave them at home, it's always usually best for them. They like that routine, that structure. But especially if they're not used to tons of people coming over, then as best as you can, building it up to it, or trying to stagger arrivals so that it can acclimate to people coming in at the same time. But it might just be, the dog might have to just be in a separate area of the house while everyone's over, just so that they're not so overwhelmed by how much is happening.
So much to think about. As well, people should think about donating or giving money. And now you have a special campaign going right now. Can you tell us about it?
So we have our holiday matching campaign going on. So every amount donated up to $50,000 will be doubled currently. You can go to our website, omhs.ca/holiday22, and it'll take you right to the page to be able to do a donation that will be matched.